What's up, Agent Zero here, and welcome to Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Now, before we begin, I want to mention a few things. First off, yes, I know, this is not Minecraft Pocket Edition. I understand this, just calm down for a moment. Let me go ahead and tell you guys a few things. So, a few weeks ago, Game Theory, you're probably already aware of them. They did a video regarding this series. I'll put a link down in the description to that video if you guys want to check it out, if you hadn't watched it already, that is. But anyway, after watching that video, I got curious about this franchise, and so I decided, you know what, I have an emulator, why not give it a try? Because I figured, hey, it could be fun. And the whole point of me wanting to do YouTube is because, well, I thought it would be fun, so why not share this with you guys? And maybe you guys will enjoy this video as well. So I've actually played a little bit of this game, so I understand exactly what's going on now. I want to mention right now, this is a crime game, and it's a crime game unlike others I've ever seen, because you're not really on the scene too much, or at least that's not the core of the game. You'll see when I get there, but anyway, so yeah, this game, as well as its future titles, are played in episodes, and there's multiple episodes per game. Now, honestly, I do not know if I'm going to end up making a series off of this game, unless you guys want me to do a series on this game. So, if I can get at least 5 likes, and this is probably the only time I'm going to ask for a like goal. If we can get at least 5 likes between now and next Friday, then I will continue on, play the further episodes in this game, because who knows, you guys might actually enjoy this, like I said. So yeah, so this is in fact a Nintendo DS game, if you guys weren't already aware, published in 2005. But yeah, enough talking, let's go ahead and get straight into this game. So let's click new game, the first turnabout. Now, I do want to mention, I did say that I have played a little bit of this game already. I have in fact already completed the first turnabout, so I know exactly what's going on. So, let's go ahead and get started. Now, I do want to warn you about small blood and small language, but nothing too major. Gasp, gasp. It's not horrible, it's very minimal. Yeah, and we see she's dead. Damn it, why me? So I'm not going to do too much of voices. I can't get caught like this. I'm not exactly good with doing voices for things. I gotta find someone to pin this on. Someone like him. Because it's kind of hard in my throat to do voices. I'll make it look like he did it. Alright, here we go. August 3rd, 9:47 a.m. District Court, Defendant's Lobby number 2. Boy, am I nervous. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. Phew, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. It says a lot about you, and your clients as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help out any way I can. I really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over. My life, everything, it's all over. Isn't that your client screaming over there? Yeah, that's him. Death, despair. Ooh! I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna die. Sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Nick. Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished! I can't live in the world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death. The newspaper said it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. And the first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts, my best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say though, it's usually not his fault, he just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. That and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. Alright, we're about to get into what this game really is about. And that's just what I'm going to do. August 3rd, 10 o'clock a.m., District Court, Courtroom number 2. The court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. The, defense is ready, Your Honor. Ahem. Mr. Wright, this is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I'm, a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Hold on, let me go ahead and quickly turn the volume down a little bit. Alright, there we go. Alright. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Handshaking, eyesight fading. Our guy, Phoenix Wright, he doesn't look like he's too happy about the situation. This test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. As we already know, it's Larry Butts. Now, I turned the volume down because it was kind of loud on my end. I know it's gonna prevent you guys from hearing it as well, but I didn't turn the volume down too much. But anyway, into the game, the defendant is Larry Butts. The defendant, well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll be fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? Phew, I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover to cover so many times. It's... wait. Uh-oh. Nope, no way, I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course I know the victim's name. I just forgot temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the defendant's name is listed in the court record. Just touch the court record button to check it at any time, okay? And with that, I will. So, we have Phoenix's attorney's badge, and here we go. Cindy's autopsy report. So, we know her name is Cindy. So, let's go ahead and get back into the action. Oh, if you can call it action. Remember to check it off and do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Let's hear your answer. Who is the victim in this case? Well, we already know her first name is Cindy, and the only one that matches is Sydney Stone. The victim's name is Sydney Stone. Correct. Now, tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was... this should say on the court record... Cause of death, loss to blood due to blunt trauma. So she was hit with a blunt object. She was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all of my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Thank you, Your Honor. Because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then, first, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? The murder weapon was this statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. So we've added the statue into the court record as evidence. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Touch the court record button to check the court record frequently. And now I'm going to take a closer look at this. Statue in the shape of the Thinker, it's rather heavy. Okay, so we learned a little bit about it. I don't think it's not gonna do us much good at the moment. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh, or he gets excited easily. This could be bad. So, here he is. Mr. Larry Butts himself. Ahem. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me, ever. What's it to you, anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just recently returned overseas. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies. All of it lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. Alright, so we've got her passport in the court record. Indeed, she appears to have returned from the day before the murder. Dude, no way. The victim was a model but did not have a large income. I want to apologize right now if I'm not exactly doing too much distinguishing between different characters. I'm not exactly good with providing voices for specific characters, as I said before. So if it sounds a little bit boring because of the way I'm reading it, I do apologize. I'm still trying to do the best I can to add a little bit of emotion to what's being said. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude, we can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right. I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I? Give me a moment, guys. I've got a drink next to me. Okay. Alright, I think it's probably a smart idea to just tell him don't say anything. My client had no idea the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to the case. Oof. Wince. I don't know what wincing is. Actually, I do, but there's really no sound effect for it. Okay. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is so not looking good. But I still say we did the right thing by not... Well, even though we told him, effectively said not to say anything, he kind of did anyway. So I guess it kind of goes without to say that it didn't work anyway. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Oh. Well, did you or did you not? Well, maybe I did and maybe I didn't. Uh-oh, he went. What do I do? Have him answer honestly or stop him from answering? I think being honest about the situation is the best choice. I know, I'll send him a signal. Tell the truth. Yeah, I was there, I went. Order. Well, Mr. Butts, dude, chill. She wasn't home, man, so, like, I didn't see her. Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? I can't talk to you. The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who's your witness? The man who found the victim's body, just before making the gruesome discovery. He saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime. That's not good, is it? Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. This is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Phoenix Wright to the stand. Oh, doesn't he look a little familiar? Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. Okay, here's where the game really begins. This is nothing but a game of lie detector. I was going door to door, selling newspapers, selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must have been in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in our apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who rang was, without doubt, the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. I don't even know if I pronounced that correctly, but we're going to roll with it. Okay, so the blackout record is in our evidence. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? Alright, Mr. Wright, this is it. The real deal. What exactly am I supposed to do? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? Oh boy, how do I prove he's not? You hold the key, it's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find the contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Touch the court record button and point out the contradictions in the testimony. Alright, this is where the game really begins. Here we go. I was going door to door, selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing the apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. Hold on a moment. How sure is this guy that was 1 p.m.? Okay, I did mention already, I played through this full episode already, so I know what the answer is. But I'm gonna just at least do a walkthrough on this level for those of you who have never played it before, and those of you who have played it before, you know what I'm about to do. So, first thing I want to do is go press. 1 p.m. Are you certain? Yes, absolutely. He seems really confident. 1 p.m. Right, doesn't that seem strange to you? Present some evidence to contradict him. Alright, so let's take a look at the autopsy. Time of death, 7:31, 4 to 5 p.m. That does not sound good. Now, I want you guys aware, if you're playing this game, if you press and hold Y, you can actually say, hold it, you can say objection, you can say those things into the microphone, and it'll do it for you. However, I'm just going to use the touchscreen for right now, so let's go ahead and present this. Objection. Okay, this is where it begins. Well, alright. You found the body at 1 p.m., you're sure. You notice how the music turned off? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. Alright, the music's back. That tells us something. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes that the time of death was sometime after 4 p.m. There is no body to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? Uh-oh, he's... This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Surwitt, why were you so certain you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? This is pretty much a repeating process in the game, but you never know what's going to be said because it's always going to be different. But that's the whole mechanic of what the game is. Well, half of the game anyway. The time of discovery. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a taped program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about the misunderstanding. I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a tape program. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right. You know what to do. I've got this one. And so do I. The time of discovery. I know exactly what's wrong here. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There's a voice saying the time is probably coming from the television. Hold on a moment. Are you sure it was a television, not a radio? Well, no, I guess it might have been a radio. Incidentally, there was no radio on the premises. There's only one large television. Right. I can't put my finger on it, but something about this seems fishy. Something about hearing the television. The witness's testimony, he heard the time. Alright, so this is where I do believe I need to do my job. The blackout record as presented by Prosecutor Payne. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery, and this record proves it. Oh boy, he's nervous. You couldn't have heard a television or a video. Gah. The defense has a point. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Surwitt? No, I find it quite puzzling myself, quite. Wait, I remember now. Mr. Surwitt, the court would like to provide him accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility. That, and you seem rather distraught. Well, my apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Surwitt. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. Hearing the time. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There's a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw. I already know that's wrong. A clock. You saw a clock? I guess that'll explain it. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. I know exactly what is wrong here, and I'm going to ask him about it. I didn't hear the time I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used to hit the victim. The murder weapon? Yes, the table clock that was used as a weapon. That's what I just said. Did you doze off in the middle of my testimony or something? Something's fishy here. So let's go back here. I do believe we have this we can put up against him. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock? Oh, the music's intensifying. What? You with your objections and your evidence. Just who do you think you are? Oh, he's starting to break down, get defensive. Just answer the question, Mr. Sawit. Hey, I saw it in there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Peng? As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submit it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So, the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness' testimony was correct. This is a clock. Do you have any problems with his testimony now? As a matter of fact, yes, I do. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. The witness knew it was a clock because he... Okay, I doubt he knew the victim. Mainly because I played this episode, but I know he went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder, weren't you? Oh yeah? Prove it. Prove I was in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard. Get my drink again real quick, guys. Okay, so the judge says, order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawit, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon just spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Would the witness care to elaborate? Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, never. Look, the clock, I heard, no, I mean, I saw, and he throws his toupee, and Phoenix doesn't seem too thrilled. Shut up, I hate you. It was him, I tell you, I saw him. He killed her, and he should burn. Burn, give him death. Stirring up the audience, I can tell if there's technically an audience in court, I don't know. Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claim. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I better think through it carefully. Yes, Your Honor. The sound Mr. Sawit heard was definitely his clock. A fact which is clear as you simply try sounding the clock. Let's sound the clock now, here at this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. Beep. I think it's 8:25. That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what the time is now? It's 1:25. 11:25. Ack. As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sawit heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sawit, should I talk your way out of this one? Ha! Ha ha! You forget one thing. Uh-oh, what's he talking about? While it may seem that the clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? You can't prove that. You don't have a case. He's right. How am I going to prove that? Damn it. I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sawit. I come all the way down here to testify, and look what happens. They treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all slime. Grr, I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Not so fast, Mr. Sawit. Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? There's a bit of a contradiction there. Can you think of a reason why the clock would be 3 hours slow? As a matter of fact, yes, I can. Wait. Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. The passport. This is proof because the victim was in Paris, which means a different time zone. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. there, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock isn't 3 hours slow, it's 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in the apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Sawit? Or should I say, Mr. Did It? Oh, he's breaking down. He collapsed. Order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your client, he was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly. And find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Butts, not guilty. And with that, the court is adjourned. It turns out that Frank Sawit was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sawit let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching for her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sawit grabbed the nearest blunt object he can find. August 3rd, 2:32 p.m. District Court Defendant Lobby Number 2. Whew, I still can't believe we won. Right, good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over. Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no. I mean, bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Wendy's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was... Never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat. Oh, no, I couldn't. Heh, I'm the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Doesn't that make you just want to cry? Larry. Are you so sure? Excuse me? I think she thought quite a lot of you in her own way. Nah, you don't gotta sympathize with me, it's okay? Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right? Right. Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him. Huh? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? That'd be this. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? Where'd you get that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. She took it with her when she traveled. She probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am, thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right. Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. Say, how about dinner? On me. We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part at least. You'll have to tell me about it sometime, maybe over drinks. And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Genix, it's good to have friends. But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay me, unless you count the clock he gave Mia." I didn't know it then, but that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. Oh boy, was it suggesting? And I promised to tell the chief about me and Larry. Okay, I told you I've only played this episode in the game, so I have no idea what it's talking about. Would be one promise I wouldn't be able to keep. And that's the end of that episode of this game. Now, I've been recording for about 40 minutes here. New episode has been added to the game. And with that, that is the end of the first Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney episode. So, Again, like I said at the start of the video, I do not know if I want to make a series off of this, but as you guys noticed, I got another episode to the game. If you guys want me to continue playing this and do the next episode, go ahead and hit that like button down below. If we can get up to at least 5 likes between now and next Friday, then I promise you I'll go ahead and do a part 2 to this game. Also, if you happen to be new to the channel, and just go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and with that, I will see you guys later.